Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the I Can Do This All Day podcast. I am Dan, the part-time Avenger, and with me, as always, is Mark, the resident Jedi.
And as always, hello there. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a bottle of Jack Daniels. We're here to talk about Supergirl, the dumpster fire that is.
Okay, I guess we're just jumping right into it, I suppose. But Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock, I thought her little cameo in Superman was funny, so I was looking forward to this. My origin with Supergirl is I watched maybe a little bit of the Helen Slater Supergirl. I watched some clips here and there of the Melissa Benoist Supergirl TV show, and that's about it. Not once. I don't think I've ever read a Supergirl comic. What about you, Mark? What's your origin with Supergirl?
One, I'm really impressed that you know how to say Melissa Benoist's last name properly, because I don't, obviously. But I don't really have a Supergirl origin per se, because I never really watched that show. I think there was one in a Christopher Reeve movie at some point, but I was never a big...
Not with.
What?
Not with Christopher Reeve, I don't think. Was there?
I thought it was in it. I don't know. I thought there was.
You're talking about The Flash. You're talking about The Flash that Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater were next to each other. I don't know if they were. I honestly don't know. So
yeah,
couldn't tell you.
And then I remember Supergirl being sad when Superman died in the comics, because that was the only run of the Superman comics I ever read. So yeah, I don't know, man. Not a lot of Supergirl, but I did love House of the Dragon, so I was down to watch Supergirl with an attitude.
Did you have any expectations going into this movie?
I expected it to be, I think I was heavily optimistic due to the fact that, you know, our man, Mr. Gunn, is overseeing all of DC. So I thought it would be good. I was excited, but, you know.
I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
What color is the little dot on the screen that tells you we're recording right now? Yeah, I expected it to be a bright red dumpster fire. Bright red dumpster fire. But I figured the music would be good because, you know, James Gunn. So at least I'll jam out to the tunes.
So James Gunn didn't direct it. I honestly don't even know who directed it. I'm not going to look it up. I'll leave that up to you.
Craig Gillespie directed it, my friend.
Dizzy's brother. Yeah, who could forget Dizzy Gillespie?
Big cheeks.
Yeah, but my expectations going into it is I thought it was going to be good. I like Millie Alcock. I am not a Supergirl fan, but at the same time, this will be something different. You know, like we've kind of wanted something different for superhero movies, but then there's a little bit of familiarity that where, you know, the trailers that I saw, this is going to be similar to Guardians. This is going to be like the DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So that's what I was thinking. And I'm not going to hate that, you know, like I wasn't hating it going into it, but then I started seeing all of the hate coming out just on the opening weekends and even prior to. And I think there's a little bit of controversy too, where Millie Alcock said something and everyone got their panties and G-strings in a bunch. And so then it was like, oh, okay, so we really took the wind out of the sail for Supergirl here. So now we're just going to go on to like hate this movie before it even gets released. But whatever. You kind of keep your blinders on for certain movies where you don't watch trailers. I watch the trailers, but I put the blinders on when it comes to a lot of the people talking about what's good about a movie and what's bad about a movie. More so about what's bad about movies, because everyone has an opinion and for some reason they all stink.
Yeah, no, I tend to sit back. I don't even like trailers that much anymore, because the older I get, the more of the movie's in the trailer. So sitting back and watching it disappoints, is what I would say. It definitely disappoints. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? People get less creative, and maybe all of the stories have been told and I already know what's going to happen at the end regardless. But, you know, I came into this with very middling expectations, and I don't know. I think that there was buzz around it because Superman was so good, and we expected the success of Superman to roll over. But I mean, it did have the feel of an early Marvel film, right? Kind of like
I
the
mean,
Incredible Hulk. Like we hope to see him again, just not in that form.
I think she'll be a very good supporting character for other movies. I don't know if anyone's going to be clamoring for another Supergirl movie per se, but at the same time, if they do come out with one and it's kind of like, if she's just going to be in Man of Tomorrow, fine. That's cool. That's cool because I see that that's kind of where they're kind of leading up to it. But at the same time, there's a lot of other characters. There's a lot of other things that are already in the works. Clayface is already, I've seen the trailers for that, which that's going to be interesting. I just like the fact that James Gunn and DC's, they're taking swings at things, like I don't think, to say that Supergirl was formulaic, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I mean, some people would say that there's even less of a plot in Supergirl than a lot of other things, but it is what it is, man. There's so many critiques that we could do, but that's why we have this podcast, and that's why all those people out there, your opinions suck because like you're just saying it for hateful, spiteful reasons. We're doing it to just keep our friendship going, but also at the same time branch our friendship into some of the other atmosphere that's out there on the internet. So that's why we do this.
And it's a great excuse to tell our wives so we can just go to more movies. No, I'd be doing that. I'd be doing that anyway. But I appreciate the love and the banter. And speaking of banter, you said something that resonated with me about Millie being a good supporting actor. I can't wait to hear her banter with flat-banged Nathan Fillion. I feel like that would be pretty entertaining to hear them go back and forth with each other. Maybe.
You think so? I mean, I feel like I don't know if that's going to happen. Is Nathan Fillion is his Green Lantern going to be in Man of Tomorrow?
I mean, you would assume because he was in the first one, he would continue. It's not the multiverse, Dan.
Yeah, but I feel like the Justice Gang have kind of run its course. Like if we're going to see anyone, I think it'll be Mr. Terrific, which I'm perfectly fine with that. He's cool. I'm surprised there hasn't been anything else in the works with him or anything announced with him being in it. But Edie Gathegi, great. Freaking fantastic. Millie Alcock, also great. But I don't know. Before we talk more about this movie, because I feel like we're going to diverge into two different paths here, why don't you tell the audience your version of the plot?
A sad youth drinks her way through depression and comes out on the other side with a friend.
Who was the friend?
The girl who she helped murder.
But did she go with her? I can't remember.
No,
okay.
But
no friend.
They have a bond.
Yeah. Just like her and Lobo have a bond, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit.
That is a big topic on of itself, a big one.
So I don't think honestly I'll kind of put some of my cards out there right now. The plot was kind of meh, right? I mean that's fair to say. The whole plot revolves around her getting a cure for her dog. I love dogs. I have dogs. It's cool. I don't know if that was as much of a plot as it should have been.
It's the one thing I'll say about this is it wasn't your female lead that needs saving from a male. She was doing something good. She was being a good dog mom. Like, it doesn't need to be compelling. How many comic books were compelling? I think that's the true point of the kind of talk, the direction of the plot. It didn't need to be, because when you close the comic, she was Supergirl at the end.
But was there anything really of substance besides?
No, nothing at all.
This is all by accident, right? Like you just happen to run into these people, and then this girl just happens to run into Kara at the bar. It's just like and obviously Superman's in it, which I'm happy that there was as much Superman in it as there was, because people forget, like, even though Superman was 2025, that was just last year, but it seems so long ago. in my opinion, because there hasn't been any other DC stuff out since then. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad we get the chance to see Superman. And like it gave a good reminder as to who he is. And also a little bit more of an exploration into his concern and care for family, or his, his extended family, if you will. But I thought that was cool. Some people might think that like, oh yeah, you need to have Superman to carry this movie. Like maybe not. But at the same time, he's really not carrying the movie. He's just showing more substance and backstory to who Kara-Zor-El is, because most people have no idea about, the average moviegoer has no idea about Supergirl. A lot of people know about Superman, even average moviegoers. I would say a resounding majority do not about Supergirl.
Then that's a great question then to ask you. Did you know the origin story we got in here, which is formulaic to superhero movies, but did you know the origin story about her just being left alive on a small chunk of Krypton?
What, is that accurate? Is that comic accurate?
I have no idea. That's why I was asking you. I've never heard of that before.
Audience, if there's any DC fans or Supergirl fans out there, let us know if that's truly the origin, because I didn't, without knowing the character, like the deep comic history of the character, I didn't necessarily want to see all that stuff, because I've been let down by other movies and other characters in the past to where it's like, oh wait, this is not the origin at all. X-Men being one of them, Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, a lot of different Marvel characters I've been disappointed with because it wasn't comic book accurate for their origin story. So that's where it's just like, but I'm okay with DC doing that and taking liberties, because I didn't, I want to like it. It's not that I'm like anti-DC. I think I'm anti-DCEU movies for sure, but new universe, DCU. So this is James Gunn holding the pen and the paper and pulling all the strings. I'm good with this. Take some liberties. James Gunn is also very faithful to a lot of the comics too, so I'm all right with that. But yeah, it's no idea about the origin, but I thought the origin was cool. I thought it was a nice little opposite way to look at it in comparison to Superman's origin. So I don't know if you caught this, but did you realize kind of like the polarity between?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's the part of the plot, or the not part of the plot, but part of the peel back that we get in this, right, in this movie, is the juxtaposition of temperament for somebody raised from infanthood with love and no struggle, with being able to leap toward buildings in a single bound, and somebody who is living in a world of impoverished regret and hardship. So she finds the deep meaning and regret from her parents, whereas Clark is a miracle baby and just in a joyful household.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that.
I thought that was such a deep difference in it. So many people, when she came into the first Superman movie, right, during her cameo, they're like, why is this one drinking and drunk and with all this, versus Clark, who has this kinship to Earth, and the juxtaposition of she was sent there for safety, he was sent there to lord, like the different values of the two brothers, right?
Yeah. That's more so what I was talking about. Like you're 100% right in terms of the nature and nurture aspects of them.
Yeah.
But the fact that like I think they even said like my crazy brother. He said something to that effect.
At the beginning he said my crazy brother, and then he said, yeah.
No. Go ahead, finish what you're going to say. Then he said what?
He said it was his crazy brother, and then he I have to go this route. Like there's nothing else to do. But I don't recall if we ever did see Jor-El Jor-El in this movie, but was there an explanation as to why Jor-El wasn't in the Wicked Witch of the East, or the Good Witch her bubble. Like what? Why weren't they in the bubble?
No clue.
You'd
No clue.
think
I
that
think they
them
just
being so
decided to
close, they've
stay.
lived close together.
Yeah. But I think, well, here's the part of it is like, so the critique about Superman, the, the 2025 Superman movie was that, the twist is Clark's parent or Kal-El's parents
Mm-hmm.
are just like, yeah, go there. You could be really helpful. But if not, just go ahead and rule them. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be faster, everything. Just go ahead and breed and, like take over. Right. So
Colonize.
there's the part to where it's like he says crazy brother. And so there you go. It's almost like kind of an interesting thing. They can back out of it. They can retcon this, but at the same time, you can think that, okay, Kara's parents are way better than Superman's parents in terms of just goodness. And they kind of even make a point of that. They're like, hey, you can be good without being nice. So it's like, okay, well, great. So you give a little bit of rough and tough Afro puff type of thing with that, but Superman's parents still bona fide nuts. So I like that because they're not trying to walk it back. It's like, oh, they were actually pretty good. Lex was lying, even though they could totally go down that road. I think they would cheapen Superman, and I think they would ruin my viewing experience if they did decide to retcon that. But I like that they kept going with it. They didn't go like heavy into it, like, yeah, my crazy brother, what a fucking whack job. Like, no, they didn't do that. But at the same time, they did enough of it to where, okay, Jor-El, probably a little bit loony, and that's why he sent his son, and that's why he said the things that he said. But these parents are pretty good parents for the most part. They're not trying to colonize or have her rule an entire different world. But they do, which I didn't quite understand in the movie, they do end up sending her.
Or did they make the selfish choice to keep their daughter and subject her to the same possible peril?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's as a parent, it's hard to just ship your kid off somewhere.
But
At
what
least for
decision would you make?
Me being a parent.
Earth is going to explode. You can send the baby, you can send your kid away and send them somewhere where they can be safe, or we're all going to die together.
Well, spend as much time with them and then send them off, which is exactly what they did.
You know what the right answer is? Build a bigger spaceship.
Yeah. For those that I don't know, for as an advanced race as they are, they sure couldn't figure out a way to get off of that little spaceship.
Right?
Like they couldn't come up with there's no resources.
Did they have flying cars, but not like, I don't understand. That is such an amazing, like, didn't they? No, they had ships.
Well, yeah, they sent her in one. Just not enough.
No, but like Zod had a warship, didn't he?
Zod wasn't in this. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about I'm just talking about Krypton in general.
Hey man, this is a new universe, so I can't.
Oh
I can't go by.
So wait, there's not a weird puddle in a ship somewhere that we can use?
I will. I wonder if they'll bring Zod into the DCU. I don't think they should. I really don't think they should.
Yeah, Zod's been done.
Yeah.
They need to do the Marvel thing and bounce them back and forth, like get them some baseline villains to start with and then flip it to like a multiverse situation.
What
Not
they
multiverse,
need to do,
like multi team up thing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think a lot of the DCU movies will be, because there's so many characters that we want to see, and some of these characters that James Gunn wants us to get to love and know can't just do it by themselves. And that's why Supergirl had Superman and Lobo in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not possible. There's no way. The mass audience will not flock to a solo Supergirl only superhero movie. It's just not possible. Not saying it can't be liked or appreciated, but it's just not going to happen. It's not good business.
I think it could happen. I think it's been proven to happen. What's DC's highest grossing movie ever?
I don't know, probably Dark Knight. Maybe, I don't know.
Is it Wonder Woman?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. But here's the thing. So Wonder Woman is a staple character. Like that's
Yeah,
a
but I mean, you
DCU
said
staple.
female lead. I just said.
Did I say female? I thought I just meant like I didn't mean just like strictly female lead, because Wonder Woman is fantastic. But at the same time, those characters that you don't know a whole lot about, a lot of people know Wonder Woman. A lot of people know Superman. A lot of people know Batman. Supergirl, not so much. So there's no way that they're just going to come out with a solo movie. Like, that's why, like, Clayface is a roll of the fucking dice, man. That is going to be a roll of the dice, because no one in the mass audience really, really knows who Clayface is. And if it's only Clayface in this movie, oh man, we're in fucking trouble. We are in fucking trouble.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. I got to argue with you that he's just following a formulaic approach from the Marvel perspective. Even the first Captain Marvel movie that not everybody knew, very few people knew about Captain Marvel, was well received. The second one, we've talked about. Look at that episode, folks. But I think that the Clayface is supposed to be kind of like, was it Werewolf at Midnight or whatever that one was?
Werewolf by Night. Yeah,
Werewolf by Night. It's supposed. I'm under the impression it's a one shot, not a, like, doesn't have to be part of the canon for the bigger, Justice League kind of thing. Like, that's my understanding of it. Because they haven't.
It's not going to go past this. It's not going to go past one movie.
No, it's not. I'm under the impression it's not supposed to. And I mean, DC has doing one shots like that. The Joker was great. Fleur de Lis, not so much. I literally couldn't get through it. I turned it off at the beginning.
What was it? Joker what?
Isn't it Fleur de Lis?
No.
Okay.
But okay.
What is it?
Folie à Deux? You're talking about a fucking piano song, man, or a classical song, Fleur de Lis, or Fur Elise. I don't know. You're combining.
No, Fleur de Lis. I'm talking about the symbol.
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie. So
whatever. Either way, the movie was a symbol for, but the first one was really good. And if they would have left that as a one shot, I think that it would have shown well. And you've got this rogues gallery that people want to see from Batman. I think one of the biggest complaints in Batman movies is we don't get enough of the rogues gallery. Like, we only get the same four.
From the comic fans and the movie fans. I mean, not from other people that have no idea who these people are. No one's clamoring for a Clayface movie.
I don't know, dude. I want to see it. I'm stoked.
No. It's going to be fun.
On Batman the Animated Series.
Clayface has the possibility to be like an A24 type of movie. It has that possibility to be like, oh, it's a scary superhero comic book movie, because no one gives a shit about Clayface. No one's asking for a Clayface movie. However, if the premise is good and it's a good movie, not necessarily a good comic book character or comic book movie, it's going to be good. And so it has potential. I'm just stating the obvious, that that's the only movie that they could, it's a roll of the dice. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, they could just be like, well, it's because they didn't have anyone else in there besides Clayface. We all wanted to see Batman go in there or whatever. I would be surprised if there was some other, like, will there be like nods and homages and, like subtleties of the DC universe in there? Sure, I would think so. Someone's going to probably mention, like, that fucking Commissioner Gordon, he's really cracking down on crime. Something's going to happen like that. Like, it's not like a throwaway line to where they say something like, Jim Gordon's got this town all wound up tight. And then it's like,
Harvey Dent.
Something like that, right? It was something. And so, but there's no Batman. Sure as shit, not going to see a Robin in there. But if there is, like, then it would be understandable, because the executives might be like, yeah, we need to get some people that, we need to get characters that people know in the movie. That's what I'm curious if that might be like a studio will kind of just position it that way, to where it's like, we need to get someone in there. Like,
I think it would be
Superman doesn't fit in here. Like, we gotta mention him in there.
It would be cool if Like, because I know the Pattinson Batman's still coming out, right? Like the second one, it's in the can, isn't it?
It's like being delayed like another year or something like that. Yeah.
But it's
So
it's filmed, right?
no, no, they haven't started yet. I don't think.
Oh, I thought they started it.
No, it's gonna be like fucking forever. Well, maybe they started, but it's like it's being pushed back even further, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh. Okay.
There's a meme that I saw like Robert Pattinson is getting ready for Batman 2 by lifting 5 pound weights, something like that. That's what I saw. I'm surprised he doesn't need a spotter for it.
Principal photography began in June.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's took a pause. I think it took a pause for some reason. I saw
I haven't seen
something
that yet.
either that or it's they pushed the date back because of whatever reason.
Yeah, but this Batman isn't going to be the DCU Batman, right?
No,
See, I was thinking that Clayface movie, they could do just a background of a gray and blue Batman. You know what I mean? That would be the
whatever.
DCU. They could just hint at it and it would be good.
Yeah, but I mean the the point I'm trying to make is that Supergirl needed to have additional characters because no one cares about Supergirl. I shouldn't say no one. There are people out there that love Supergirl, but the mass audience, the people that Hollywood executives are trying to make happy, do not care about Supergirl as one character, and they can't focus it around just her, and that's why they needed to get Jason Momoa as Lobo in there.
See, I wish Lobo wasn't in there because it was so disappointing. How did you feel about Momoa as Lobo?
I don't know the character, but from what I've heard, it's pretty accurate as to how he is. He doesn't give a fuck. He's immortal, and he just wants to have a good time, kick ass, and get bounties. That's what he wants to do.
I don't know. I thought the makeup and stuff was super poor.
Really?
Lobo was always like beefed up and ripped, and I was like, is this like fat Lobo? Like, what's going on here?
He is freaking beef. I mean, it's a suit, but like he is beefed up and jacked in that.
They put Aquaman in a suit. Why?
Well, yeah, because Aquaman doesn't always like to work out all the time. He's not as ripped and jacked as like it's better that they put him in the suit. And plus Lobo is supposed to be this like space bounty hunter that like, yeah, you better be fucking beefed up, otherwise you can get your ass kicked.
I thought
With the
Momoa was a
exception
good
of the Kryptonians.
yeah. I thought Momoa was a good choice for the role. Like even seeing him as Aquaman, I ain't mad. Much like Evans, loved him as the Human Torch, but I ain't mad that he's Cap. So it's one of few actors where you're like, okay, it's believable that they're either or, and it doesn't matter.
What do you think about like just going into the plot of this movie though? So you've got Supergirl, Kara, who just you get a little bit of the backstory with her. You get she's like kind of emo Supergirl, right? Are you okay with
All the
that type of
Kryptonians really like
Supergirl?
emo music, though, right? Emo and punk. It's what they do.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but what are you okay with that variation or portrayal of her?
I liked that this movie was an aside from moving forward any like Lex Luthor plans or large galactic issues. I liked that it was almost an aside to really introduce the character and show you the whole piece of it. So the plot not advancing some larger scale rotational evolution, I liked. I liked that it was simple.
What about because there's a little bit of critiquing and griping about like, oh, you had to throw Superman in there, huh? Like, are you okay with Superman being in there as much as he was?
Superman was in there, not nearly as much as people are making it out to be.
But he's in there, so it's like that's the part of it to where it's like he was in there more than I thought he was going to be. So that's to
Are
me that
those
was
so?
because there was like 5 scenes. I want to say like 5 scenes that he was in. So that's way more than like I think more so than Tony Stark was in Spider-Man Homecoming. Like it's a lot.
I mean, he was in this movie less than Crypto was in Superman. Crypto being the representation of Supergirl.
So are you okay with that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Answer the question.
It didn't, but nothing about him being there Martha'd me.
Okay. So you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. So what about like the story with the revenge of the little girl? I can't remember what her name was, but that whole plot.
The Princess
The
Bride
main
girl.
reason. I guess, yeah.
Her name was Ingo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die. That girl.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of pain in the beginning of the film for all of the characters. And I like that at least like there was multiple layers of origin there, which I thought was good, right? Because you got to see Supergirl and all the pain she carried. And then this girl carries the same pain but differently, right? The orphan pain. And you see somebody whose compassion lets them try and ease the other's pain, right? So you don't want to kill them. That's another like I think movie trope that's well used and tried and true. Nope, the killing won't help you, right? We've seen that in a lot of different movies, but I liked their kind of thing where one acted like she was, high and mighty, except she was going out to commit murder, and the other one was like, I'm not, and I'm drinking a bunch, and I could stop all murder, but
Okay. I mean,
how
really,
did you feel about it?
I'm just along for the ride, just having a good time.
No answers, just going.
I'm watching the movie, and I was kind of thinking of it like Aquaman 2. I'm along for the ride. I don't know these characters. I'm not invested in these characters. Let's just see what happens. Is there good special effects? Is there good action? Is there good acting? And I mean, honestly, like the plot, to me, it was a weak plot. I understand the purpose of her trying to find a cure for her dog. I get it 100%. But is that really all that it is? And then when you have just the villain of Krem, like Krem, forgettable. I just had to look up what his name was because I didn't remember who he was, what he did. Didn't quite understand his powers. He seemed like a badass, but it's not like I was concerned about him. He was like a Marvel villain. He was like a Marvel villain to where it's like, he's bad, but forgettable because I couldn't remember his name.
He was like a Marvel villain that's not a big bad. He was like Andy Serkis in Black Panther. Like, oh, he must be a bad guy. Never gonna see him again.
Yeah. There was like he did show some. What's the right word I'm looking for? He did show some level of intimidation, right? Like he's cruel to animals. Number one. Number two, he doesn't care about kids or women. Like he's a equal opportunist when it comes to pain, killing, and all that stuff. So, okay.
I mean, he's basically
bad guy.
Killmonger of this movie.
Killmonger was deep though. Killmonger had depth. This guy did not have depth at all. He just was and I'm not saying, here's another thing that I want to throw out there. I don't think all villains need to have that much depth. In some cases, you just need a bad guy. And if he's someone that you don't like, serviceable. There you go. That is serviceable enough for a good guy or good girl to go after him and take them out. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because this is a comic book movie. So if I was watching, like a Christopher Nolan movie and the villain was like Krem, I'd be like, man, he really fucking dropped the ball on this one. This is horseshit. But this is a movie in space with aliens, people that are immortal, at drinking at bars. Like, this is nonsense, but it's good nonsense. It's fun nonsense. It's a way to escape, just like Star Wars is, just like Star Trek is, just like Marvel is. So I'm okay with all that.
I wanted to escape longer, candidly. Did you get to the end of this movie and you're like, what is it? That's it?
No, I thought it was just enough. I honestly thought it could have been a little bit tighter. just because, like I said, I'm not invested in some of these characters. So I'm not clamoring for a 2 hour, 45-minute movie. When when Doomsday comes around, I'm going to be like, yep, I wish it was longer. I wish it was longer so I could see more of these characters or whatever. But this one I thought the pacing was good. I thought the pacing was fine. I don't think it ended too soon. I thought it got us where we needed to go. It put action scenes where we needed to have a little pep in our step. And there was some good acting there. I liked Millie Alcock's performance and her almost tortured soul of a Kryptonian portrayal.
You know what I really liked? The music. You are the one that has so many opinions on the tunes. Where are you with this film and the tunes that backed it up? Anything stick out to you?
Nothing really stuck out to me, but it put me in the right mood for the scenes, for the entirety of the movie. So I was good with it. The part of me was thinking like, oh man, how indie are we going here? Because I was thinking like, how many other songs am I going to hear that I have no idea who the band is, right? So that's kind of where I was at with the music. It was good music. I'm not complaining about it. It's just I wasn't as aware of it. Wasn't as poppy. Some of the songs, I should say, were not as poppy or well known as what I would have thought would have been in this movie.
So,
what about you?
Was I the only person of the two of us that thought that the music was awesome?
It was good. No, it was really good. I just didn't know all of the songs that were being utilized in it. That's all.
So, what about them using the middle for the main fight scene?
I didn't like that, honestly. I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Really?
Yeah. Not one of my favorite songs. So yeah, I have just a preference against it.
I was definitely stoked on the cover. I found it afterwards to see who it was. It was very James Gunn.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I just don't like that song. So when I hear another rendition of it, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I see what you're doing here. You know what it almost reminded me of was the opening credits to Black Widow with the Smells Like Teen Spirit cover. I wasn't a fan of that. I thought it was like, oh Jesus, this is what we're doing right now? Really? Like, nah. Love the song, don't like that version of it. And so it's hard for me to like another version of a song if I don't like the original song. It's happened. Don't get me wrong. It's happened. But at the same time, just I wasn't like on the edge of my seat thinking like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go home and listen to this soundtrack playlist on Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah, I forget the last Guardians movie. I think I was the last one where I was like, oh, there's a cover to kick this off.
Which song was that? I don't recall any covers being in Guardians 3. I could be wrong though.
Or maybe it wasn't Guardians 3. Oh, the acoustic version of Creep. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm trying to think. There's another one. There's another movie that came out recently, and I cannot remember the name, but the opening of it was like an acoustic cover version of something. You just set the mood so nice. I don't mind covers regardless. I actually dig when they deep cut something like that because I had to think a minute. I had to think a minute about it. I'm like, wait, I know this song. I know all of the words to the song, but it doesn't sound familiar. And then it just kind of fit. It was such a millennial Easter egg in this movie. I thought it was, it just turned on that receptor in your brain of recognition without fully understanding where, at least for me.
Okay. Fair
Did
enough.
you?
But
Do you
I mean,
agree?
the
Do you
music was
disagree?
good. The music's good. Don't get me wrong. I like the music in the movie. I thought it was great. Like for it. I just what specifically your question? Like, meh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could have done without it. Like that's the big thing for me. I think the overall score good, but I think it's still missing the theme. Like that. Like, oh, that's the Supergirl theme. Like that was missing to me. I couldn't even tell you I like Superman. I know exactly what that was. Even like the little electric guitar riffs in there, like that's really cool. I don't recall anything for Supergirl. Just the pop music, which I'm not gonna lie, that's a few points off.
Huh. I don't
Because
know that she
Guardians had a
was
great theme.
officially. I don't know that she really like the theme for a superhero is like usually comes about when they're full on superheroing. I think by the end of this movie, she's finally like getting to the level where she gets her own theme. Otherwise, she's a supporting character.
Well, then we just watched a movie with supporting character, a majority
I,
movie
we
of
we
with a
very
supporting
may
character.
we very may well have, right? Like,
Just by that logic, I'm
and
just
Marvel
saying
does
what
that
you're
too.
saying.
What?
I'm just going by your logic of that. Like, that's if she's not a hero yet, I don't agree with that because Guardians, you heard the Guardians theme all throughout, and they weren't even a team yet. And then you hear the theme again as they're like, holding hands with the Power Stone and everything. Like, so I understand your logic. I'm just like, yeah, there's what makes a movie is the acting, the scenery, the cinematography, the music. That's what makes it. And if you do not have a theme for your hero, I think that's a lost opportunity.
I'll take that. I will. I will. I will very much respect your opinion there.
So what else do you got for this whole space romp for Supergirl? I mean, are you liking the fact that we're kind of seeing other parts of the universe? You got the planet with the two suns, the green one and the yellow one. What are you thinking about the space shenanigans and also the way to nerf Kara throughout this movie?
What? The way to nerf?
Yes, you are familiar with the term nerf?
Oh, to kill. You're talking about to kill her, to knock her off.
No, to not make her as powerful.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I don't mind that they're expanding, that they're not just, on Earth. I think that, they went to space once with with Green Lantern, and they're like, nope, we want terrestrial superheroes now. I can't think of, other than Green Lantern, a non-terrestrial superhero from DC that's gotten a movie. Yeah. And so I think that it's good that they're expanding. I think there's more characters out there in the DC universe in space, right? I mean, the Lanterns in general is something, but yeah.
I don't, I'm not, it's cool to see other planets and stuff. Once again, I'm not invested in any of these villains and any of these characters. I do like Millie Alcock as Supergirl, as Kara, but I'm okay with her little tag along partner too, the Inigo Montoya Jr., if you will. I'm okay with her. Like she did a good job acting, honestly, but at the same time, I am just the whole space thing. I'm not a big space guy to begin with the exception of Star Wars. I'm really, really not into seeing all the different types of space planets, but they did a good job of making me care where they were going. But I knew, like, I knew exactly when they landed on that planet. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna nerf Kara right here. That's obviously it's not gonna be a showdown. She's gonna get, either they're gonna have a chamber of kryptonite or like, well, there you go, green sun. You're fucked. That's it. Like, okay, we're gonna spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes here of her struggling with this green sun. Maybe get some flashbacks, maybe get some more backstory. So I called it. And I was just like, yeah, all right. They had to do the same thing with, Superman just because. But I thought this was at least a more clever way to do it as opposed to just kryptonite. So seeing
Yeah,
the
had you
other
heard of a
sun,
green sun before?
I haven't, but I'm okay with it. I'm like, if it's not kryptonite, okay, at least there's a green sun. Okay, that's something that
I'd
can,
never heard of green sun before. And like, I don't know if they're so excited that people will be blown away that there's a green sun, but when they land, there's a yellow sun. It's just going down, and the sun also rises. And I'm just like, okay, so eventually that sun's going to come up and she's going to get out of this. So What's going to happen until then? And then the whole time I'm just thinking, well, when's the sun going to show up?
Yeah.
We love you, Shane.
Just
Let's go. Where is
just
it?
in time. That's when it's going to show up. When it's
Shocking.
just in
It's
time.
shocking that it popped up just in time. That is as reliable as the villain assuming the hero's going to die and telling them the entirety of the plan.
I did like that they really made her look sick with the whole, just like what I liked when in Superman, they made him look bona fide sick in that. So like, you know, in the previous Superman movies, it's just like, and then you fall down to the ground. It's like, it's making me weak. Like, no, it's fucking them up. That's what it's doing. It's fucking them up, and you could visually see it. So I'm good with that. And you know, once she makes her little comeback just in time, I didn't get a chance to ask about this earlier, but like, what did you think about the overall action scenes with everything?
It wasn't as good as you know, the Superman movie that we saw, but I thought it was okay. She was obviously not as good of a fighter, much more of a bar brawler than anything else, but you know,
I liked it because it's not, and I might disagree with you there. Like, I might say that the fight scenes or action scenes might be better than Superman because there was a wider variety of fighting and more people fighting as opposed to just the typical, like, in Man of Steel, as much as I love Henry Cavill, in Man of Steel, that fighting got boring to me. Like, okay, how many times are you going to punch him directly square in the face? How many times? But in this, like, you got to see a little bit more, some more acrobatics, some more other people fighting, like a little kid fighting, Lobo, like it's other aliens. I thought there was a better variation of action in this. Superman, by far, the better movie, but I think I might prefer some of the action in Supergirl. Now, granted, it's been a little bit of time since I've seen Superman, but I think I might put my money down and say like the overall action is better in this.
they were too busy trying to set up BVS during that fight. They're like, no, they've got to go over here and make this happen because then Bruce Wayne's going to jump into his Jeep. So I actually, I remember that scene being like, this keeps going on. Why does this keep going on? And I felt that way a lot.
Wait, which scene are you talking about?
You're talking about the fight scene between the Kryptonians.
When?
You just talked about Man of Steel.
Yeah. Right. I'm thought you were talking about Supergirl, the movie that we're actually reviewing.
Oh, no. So in Man of Steel, I remember that fight scene feeling like it went on forever.
Yeah,
I remember the fight scene in the original Avengers movie, the Battle for New York. Just felt like it just kept going on for a really long time. They took a lot of asides in that movie. The fight scenes in this did not give me that feeling. And maybe because it wasn't like 3 big fights that were epic, right? It was short and maybe 2 really big battles, but yeah, the fighting kind of kept me engaged. So
okay.
Yeah, you make a like I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is you make a very good point about the varied nature, making it more entertaining because I never felt like there was too much fighting in a movie that was basically a girl trying to save her dog and keep this other girl from fighting by fighting. So,
yeah. Total. It's so funny that you say that because like that's exactly what it is. Like, don't you kill these people. I'm going to kill them. Don't you worry about it. You be good. I'll kill them.
You brought me here, therefore are causing all of this malice, but man.
Oh, man. Well, before we close stuff out, I got to ask you, is there anything that Martha you in this movie?
Lobo.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that I didn't like him. Like, I don't not like Momoa in the role. I needed, I don't know. It seemed like he was having too much fun being Lobo and not being seriously Lobo-ish.
Do you know much about Lobo? Have you read a lot of the Lobo comics or his
Not a ton of the Lobo comics, but everything I have read and seen, and it's been a minute. He always just seemed like a character that would be more gruff and less silly.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from with that.
You know what I mean?
And yeah, I get it.
I also think the cool thing about comics is the voice is still in your head. The words are there, but the delivery is still in your head based on how you see the character saying something, right? You could read one phrase very seriously and very sillily, and it could mean, some inflection of things. So it could be that my impression of Lobo was, oh, this guy looks mean, he probably talks mean, or nope, this was meant to be blue skinned, black haired on a bike comic relief with a hook.
Kind of what it was. Like,
I think that's exactly it very much was. And I'm like, the guy uses a hook to jab into people. He should be kind of intimidating and brutal. And he was just like, got you with the hook, bitches.
I was, okay. All right. I guess I can kind of see that from, and if you have a certain perception as to what you were thinking Lobo was going to be.
You expect it to be dangerous.
I had no preconceived notion of Lobo because I've always heard that he's badass, but I've never even seen cartoons with him in it because I never really watched a whole lot of DC cartoons either. So that was no problem to me. I actually thought it was pretty entertaining. I will tell you though, something that did Martha me was the convenience of Lobo being imprisoned. So convenient that he was there. So convenient that I can't keep calling her little girl, Ruthie. So convenient that Ruthie gets him out of there. I thought that was really cool, but at the same time, like, it was just like, really? You got caught? Like, you're this badass. How did you get caught? Did you mean to get caught? Is that really what you were trying to do? Because you're really not afraid of dying because you're just there, or you're immortal. That's what Martha me is, just the convenience factor. And that was the only thing that I thought was super convenient, other than, and this is not Martha me, but other than they only carry the cure on its person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess they got to go after him to get the cure. Because couldn't it have been like they only have the cure on their ship? That would have made sense. That would have made more sense than carrying it on your person, because does everyone just always carry one? And that's what they do. Like, no fucking way. And as a matter of fact, yeah, that Martha's me now. Just,
I can tell.
Retrospect.
You just worked yourself up into a lather over
so
some throwaway
ridiculous
dialogue that just drove the plot, over a useless plot device that'll never come up in another DC movie.
Yeah. It was just kind of silly.
That's a one and done reference. And you got so mad about it.
2 instances where I got Martha on that. And that was a organic buildup of a Martha right there, because I watched it. It was just like when Randall watched Empire Strikes Back, something just didn't set right. In Jedi, something just didn't sit right with him. And that same thing with me. So it's like, yeah, it just is the case. But,
yeah, no, that you really got deep on that for no reason. Like, overall, this movie is less than 90 minutes, I think, and easy watch, great background. Like, I'm guessing I know your answers to some things.
Yeah. Well, since we're at that time of the podcast, Mark, when it comes to Supergirl, can you do this all day?
I think I'm overselling myself a bit, but I'll say this. I will watch it again. I think it's got a good message, which is nice because, when you show the little kids that, they get something positive out of it, right? It's not, too terrible. And I think it's got a cool, unique story and view. So I feel about this movie the way I felt about Man of Steel a little bit. Like, is it great? No. Is it good? Yeah. But yeah, probably isn't enough to do it all day. So I'll watch it again, but not as much as man. So I can not do this all day, but by a very teeny margin. But that's just me. And this is a 2-person operation. So Dan, when it comes to Supergirl, can you do it all day?
So there's the convenience factor of Lobo being imprisoned. There is the ridiculous plot of a cure only being on someone's person. And that's just the spark that just kicks the movie off. But I had a really good time with the movie overall. Yeah. Millie Alcock just whooped the shit out of people, and she looked like she was having fun doing so. So I was cool with that. Krem, kind of a shitty villain, but you know what? At least he showed some Rick James cold-blooded moments to where it's like, okay, cool. I can get behind trying to have an entire movie, 1 hour and 48 minutes, just going after this motherfucker because he poisoned your dog. Totally get it. Music was fun. I wasn't super jazzed about some of the choices, but the music was fun. So yeah, I could do this all day. I thought it was a surprising chapter in the DCU. You know, like I loved Superman. David Cornswell was great, and seeing him again in this movie was really good. It reinforces who Superman is in this universe, so I think that's really crucial. It also reinforces who Supergirl is and who can be, you know, Superman's support or off on her own or whatever, but it gives an interesting dynamic to the Kryptonians in the DCU. I liked Ruthie. Eve Ridley is the actress. Ruthie is the character. I thought that was, you know, the whole Inigo Montoya plot was fine for me because if someone watched their entire family die, and by the way, that family died in spectacular fashion.
Oh, violent.
So really, really good scene there. And so I was like, okay, I'm with Ruthie. Go ahead, freaking go after these people. You would probably get killed, but whatever. Just go ahead and go after them. It would be the right thing to do for your family's honor. So yeah, I will say that even some of the just slight nuances of reinforcing the fact that Superman's parents are kind of loopy, kind of batshit crazy, kind of out there. I'm good with that. I'm glad that they didn't retcon that stuff. So yes, I can do this all day. It's not a huge endorsement, but I would say it was probably one of the most fun movies I've seen as of recent. So yeah, that's
so
my story.
I gotta ask you a question. You're lather earlier, and now you flip flop to can do this all day. But I gotta ask a question because something else popped into my head while you were just speaking. You got pissed about that they only carry the antidote on their person.
Yeah, silly, stupid.
Why can't they just take the dog to a yellow sun?
Because they couldn't transport, it would speed up the process of him dying. So it wasn't a guaranteed for sure win if they got him to a yellow sun because he might die before he got to the yellow sun.
But if any didn't Superman
They said it. If we move him, it will just speed up the process.
Yeah, but she's not a Kryptonian doctor, witch doctor or whatever. Like she doesn't understand that this dog would then regenerate. I'm just saying that they gave the dog the same powers, and they
but they said it as to
went against all of the lore about I'm almost dead. Oh, I'm in space and I'm fine again.
But if they moved him, it would speed up the process. So like, okay, if you being, whether it was your child or your dog, it's like, hey, you could move them, but it's going to speed up the process and they'll die quicker. Like, unless you can get to that sun knowing damn sure that it's like super quick that you can get there, which they couldn't, then that's where the problem lies in hands. I didn't have an issue with that at all. It was a throwaway line. It was Chris Morgan-esque Fast and the Furious style writing to where it's like, okay, you got that covered. Okay, you can't move them. Fine. Let's go get the cure.
Meh. I'm happier about my I can't do this all day just because of that answer.
Yeah,
happier about it.
Well, there you go. Well, that wraps it up for another episode of the I Can Do This All Day podcast. I am Dan, the part-time adventurer. That's Mark, the resident Jedi.
Don't forget, y'all, like, subscribe, tell us where we make absolutely no sense, especially in this episode. I feel like there's great opportunities to talk about our chattery all aroundness. But in general, at I Can Do This All Day podcast on all of the socials, like, subscribe, or just download, whatever, we'll take it. But hit us with those reviews and tell other people just how much you enjoy the hypocrisy.
We'll see you next time, everyone.